guys, so today I'm going to be doing a book unhaul, and I haven't done one of these I think in a few months, maybe a little longer than a few months, and I've been really wanting to do one because I have quite a few books that I just want to get rid of and need out of my sight, and yeah. Sorry if I mentioned one of your favorite books, oh well. And let's just get right on into the video. Okay, so one of the first books that I want to unhaul is just one that I've had for like, I want to say over 5 years, and I've just never read and I'm never going to read, and that is Beta by Rachel Kahn. And this is like a sci-fi dystopian sort of book, and I just never really got into it the way I thought I would, and I think I got this when I was like 17 or 18 years old, and I just didn't really like it. Like, I liked the first few chapters, and then it just got kind of boring. Like, there just wasn't anything that was it wasn't plot driven. It was hardly character driven. It was just like, there was this really great world, but then there was no plot and no characters. So I just never really got into it, and I just don't ever see myself reading it. The next book I want to unhaul is Zara Zion and a Maelstrom of Secrets by Melissa Ann Peters, and I haven't actually read this book yet, so it's not really because I don't like it or anything. I just have 2 copies of it, so I don't need 2 copies. So yeah, there's really not much reason to this one. So the next few books have a lot of reason as to why I want to get rid of these and I don't want to see them on my bookshelf anymore. And the first one is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And I just really didn't like this book at all. Like, I felt like just every male character pretty much was trash, and I just didn't like it at all. Like, I didn't like the plot really, and just the pacing was so weird. And I mean, really, it's mainly because of Rhysand. I just hate Rhysand so much. I don't understand how anyone likes him. Even in this first book, he is trash. He's literal, actual trash, like human garbage. And I just don't understand how anyone could like him, how anyone could be attracted to that, because honestly, if anyone talked to me or treated me the way that Rhysand treats Farah, I would bitch slap them so hard, first of all, and I would never ever want to associate with them ever, like ever. He's just like, he was actual trash, and I just don't see how he could ever be redeemed from that, because he was just so awful. He was just such a bad person. So this one I do not want to look at ever again. The next few books are all of my Throne of Glass books that I own. So I have Throne of Glass in the middle, Queen of Shadows, and Empire of Storms. And I actually really did enjoy this book series at the beginning. I did like Throne of Glass, and I absolutely loved Queen of Shadows. It's probably my favorite book out of the series, but I just don't want to look at them anymore because this book ruined it so bad. I hate this book so much. I tried reading it. I think I'm like 200 pages into it, and I can't stand it. The only character that is worth anything in these books is Chaol. I love Chaol. I think he's amazing. He is the only thing that Sarah J. Maas got right, and yeah, Chaol is my child. Chaol, I love him. I would keep these books for Chaol, but I mean, everyone else is just meh. I just don't care. So Chaol, I also kind of like Manon, but I mean, still, like, she can't even redeem this series for me, so yeah, I'm kind of through with this phase in my life. I really don't care about Throne of Glass or really anything that Sarah J. Maas puts out, so these ones I just need to get rid of. They just need to leave and make room for better books. The next book is probably also controversial as well, and this is mainly, well, I guess it's both in part of I didn't like the book and I don't like the author anymore. So, The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. I've tried to read this book so many times since I got it in my owl crate, and I've just never really been able to finish it. It is so slow. The main character is an asshole. I hate him so much. He's like awful. And he's so mean to his best friend. And just the things that he says are both like A, problematic, and B, really mean, just awful. And so I feel like he's just too self-centered for me. He's that unlikable character that it's just, you can't like him. It's just, there's not even a part about him that I actually like. So yeah, and I'm not a big fan of his sister either. I feel like his sister's kind of flat. And Mackenzie Lee is kind of problematic. I feel like there's something problematic that she says at least once a month and then never really apologizes for it in a way that you're supposed to apologize. It's always just kind of deflecting, and so I'm not a big fan of her, not a big fan of her writing. This could have been a really great book. I feel like if someone else had written it, it would have been really great. But the next two books were really, really disappointing to me because I really wanted to like them and I wanted to give them the benefit of a doubt, and I did. And I really enjoyed the first book up until basically the very end. And then it just got really bad and just went way downhill for me, and that's Red Queen and King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard. And I bought this book and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a chance, even though a lot of people don't like it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a chance because it might be good, I might like it, who knows, you never know. So I gave it a chance. I really did like most of it, but then I got to the end and it did this thing that bothers me so much, and in any book that does this thing, I will literally throw the book across the room and never pick it up again. And basically, it's just like that trope where the main character hated this person for so long. Oh, I hate this person, I can't stand them. And then suddenly they learn like this one tiny little thing and they're like, oh, I love them now. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with them. And I'm just like, ow. How did that happen? How did that work? Where did you come from? I just didn't understand it. And it's always like, just like the most random thing. It's almost like authors put it in just to kind of like have some sort of like, oh my gosh, plot twist, what? And it just didn't work for me in this book. I feel like in other books it possibly could work, but in all the books that I've read that have done this, Everless, Empress of a Thousand Skies, Red Queen, I've just not liked it. It just hasn't been for me. So I got this book for like $2, $1 at my local library, and it's really sad because I was like so excited to have found a copy of this book for so cheap, and I just didn't end up liking the first book, and I'm not going to continue on with the series. And yeah, just it was not a book for me, unfortunately. The next book is one that I'm sure most of you know that I hate if you've been following me for at least like a few months, and that is The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. I hate this book so much. Oh my god, like I could make an entire rant video about how much I hate this book. It is just, there's nothing redeeming about it. Oh my god, Nathaniel Hawthorne is literally the worst person in the world. Like if you read the beginning thing, I don't know what it's fucking called, oh my gosh, the custom house. I kind of want to read some of the notes that I have for this because I did mark it up because I had to read it for class. I'm gonna see if there's anything that I actually wrote in there that is kind of like, because I like to slam books that I read for school. Like one time one of my English teachers had us read both of his like all-time favorite books by Dave Eggers, and I tore those apart in my essays. Like I was like, this book is racist, this book is white savior complex, and he gave me an A. He really liked my essays, so I mean, great. Oh, I didn't write anything interesting, but yeah, it was just just not good. Like every part of this, I've read this book twice now for school, and I wish that people would stop making it required reading because it's not good. Like I don't understand the point of reading The Scarlet Letter. There are so many better books, especially better books by women and people of color, that we could be reading instead of this bullshit. I'm so tired of The Scarlet Letter. Just make it stop. And we're gonna end this video on the note of something that isn't ranty, and I'm just getting rid of Never Always Sometimes by Addie Allsted just because I just never got into it. I tried reading it on the plane to New Orleans a few years ago now, which seems so strange. It feels like I went to New Orleans like a few months ago. But I got this one at the airport at LAX, and I tried reading it. I wasn't interested in it at all. I ended up watching Divergent and Insurgent and Legion, whatever. So I just tried to read this book a few months ago, and I just couldn't get into it. I was just like, this is kind of boring. I don't know, like, meh. It is really short, so I probably could have like read it really fast, and that's probably why I bought it. But I can't get into it. It's just not for me. I'm very picky with the contemporary that I read because I'm not like a super contemporary reader, And I also don't like books written by men a lot of the time. I just don't know why. It's always been a thing for me. Even when I was very little, I would like tell people that I don't read books by men. It's just a thing. So like if it's a book written by a man, it has to be really, really good or else I'm not going to like it. So yeah, this book just wasn't for me. I'm sure a lot of other people like it. I actually don't know if a lot of other people like it because I never hear people talk about his books. So I don't know. Maybe they do. Alright, so that was my entire book unhaul, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry for getting like super ranty there in the middle with like the Sarah J Maas and Victoria Aveyard books and stuff like that. I really didn't intend to get that ranty and that heated over these books, but that's just what happens. I just have very strong emotions and feelings about these books. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I make new videos every week, sometimes 2 videos a week if we're feeling lucky. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!